So what shall I do? From tomorrow we will use?
Yeah, from tomorrow we use Google Plus.
Google Plus.
Are these all stored and recorded somewhere so like people can just like click on it?
Yeah, they're recording, but now this Ustream is not working. So from tomorrow we start using Google Plus, and there's no recording. But this Ustream has hundreds of archive lectures and archive. But now, last 1 week it has stopped working. It starts, then it stops. It starts, then it stops, and it doesn't record.
So the Google Plus doesn't have that. I'm usually like 2 weeks behind. How did you know that?
So what do they have to do for that?
They just have to sign up for a Gmail account, and then when they sign up, then we'll
And
then we're gonna invite them to the Bhagavatam circle.
so then they have to tell us what is there.
So we'll, yeah, as soon as they come, then, you know, it's like Facebook, we become friends, and then we make this circle, and then they can all chat together, or they can all see the video.
How did you know about that?
Steve, the educational director at Chila, and other people have been using it, like Malati.
Okay, so today we will try Ustream. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vandeham Shri Guror Shri Yutapadakamalaam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvatam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindha Deenabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayine Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvashe Namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditaratas Charte subhigyaswarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye Muyanti Yat Suraya Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastakuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Swasti astu Vishwasya Kala Prasidatam Dhyayantu Bhutani Shivam Mithodhiya Manascha Bhadram Bhajata Dadhokshaje Aveshyatam no matirapya hetuki. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, verse number 1. So in the 5th canto we read all the structure of the universe, and the last chapter of this canto is describing about the hellish planets, which are very interesting, how people suffer. So this is all for us to understand, number one, that Lord, He has great opulence, His Majesty has so many powers, and number two, don't try to go to these places, at least hell. So just make one pointed goal, that is to be in Vrindavan. So that is the whole idea. And to go to Vrindavan, you have to take shelter of the holy name. So 6th canto is very important because here the glories of the holy name are described, which is actually the essence of Bhagavatam. Yatra Nam Sankirtana. So simply by doing Nam Sankirtana, one becomes free from all problems. In the end, after Bhagavatam was described, then it was said that Nam Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranasmi. And Pranamo Dukkha Samnastam Namami Harim Param. This is the last verse of Bhagavatam. It talks about Nam Sankirtan. That simply by chanting the name, one becomes free from all nonsense, which is causing us to suffer here in the material world. And therefore we pay our obeisances to Lord Hari, Lord Krishna, so that we become free from all this troubled situation and attain devotion to Him. So that glory of the name is described here in the beginning of 6th chapter, which we will read now. So this is the first verse. After hearing the description of the hells in the last chapter, King Parikshit became very worried and wanted to know if there is a solution for this. How can one avoid going to these hellish places? Because everybody has two natural instincts. One is not to suffer, and number two, how to enjoy. So even if you cannot enjoy, at least how not to suffer. So suffering means hell, enjoying means heaven, and beyond that is the ananda of bhakti or devotion. So if one is suffering or one is enjoying, then devotion is not possible, because one becomes distracted by these things unless one is already a devotee. But for a sadhaka, these are both disturbances. So one has to get rid of these anarthas, and the solution is only one, that is taking shelter of the Lord's name. So the king, he is asking these questions in 6 verses. He speaks 6 verses. He says, Nivritti margah kathita adu bhagavata yatha kram yoga upalabdhena brahmana yad sanskriti. That you had spoken about the path of detachment, nivritti marga. There are 2 paths, pravritti marga and nivritti marga. One is the path of renunciation, take sannyas, become a swami. Other is the pravritti marga, get married and work hard, become entangled, So he says that you had spoken about the Nivritti Marg, the path of detachment. This was in the second canto. But he spoke in the very beginning about meditation and all that. So he says you spoke about that, and you also spoke how gradually you can progress and attain liberation along with Brahma. You can go to the planet of Brahma slowly and from there become liberated. And pravritti lakshanascha traigunya vishyo mune yasau avlina prakriti guna sarga puna puna. Then he also talked about the pravritti marg. Because in the third canto there was talk of Kardama Muni getting married. Then fourth canto Swambhu Manu and his two sons. And then flowed into the fifth canto, children of Swambhu Manu. They were all described in their whole lineage. So this is the pravritti marg. So this is related with the three gunas. And yasau alina prakriti guna sarga puna puna. There is creation again and again, one after another. Adharma lakshana nana narkasya anuvarnita manvantarasya vyakhyata abdeha swambhuva manu. You have also explained the various types of hells, naraka. In Sanskrit, naraka, the word for hell is naraka. So nara means human beings. Nara, nari, nari means woman, nara means man. And naraka means where human beings cry. Ka means to cry. So naraka is a place where human beings are made to cry. So he says that you have described that also. And who are the people who go there? Those who engage in adharma or forbidden activities. Veda has two divisions, pravritti marg and nivritti marg. Pravritti marg deals with dharma and nivritti marg deals with Vedanta, bhakti, jnana marg or bhakti marg. So in the dharma there are two types of prescriptions. There is karma, which is prescribed. One should do this, chanting Gayatri mantra, doing yagyas, giving charity, planting trees, digging wells, making ponds, roads, feeding others, Panchamahayagyas. So all this is part of dharma, and then there are some prohibitions. Should not be done. Not to steal, not to engage in illicit sexual activity. So these are called adharma. So by doing adharma one goes to hell, by doing dharma one goes to heaven. That is the pravritti marg. That is the dharma. So that's why Krishna says that he comes to establish dharma, and then he says you give up dharma and become a devotee. So that is the second part of the Vedas. The first part is majority of the people are not interested in becoming devotees or liberation. They want enjoyment. So then it gives a process how you can live at least in a disciplined manner and have some material enjoyment. So all these hellish planets were described, and then there was a description of Manvantara. And the first Manu was Swambhu Manu. And Priyavata Uttanapada Vansas Tascharitani Cha Dvipa Varsha Samudradi Nadi Adi Anavanaspati. So he described the dynasty of Priyavrata and Uttanapada, these two sons of Manu, Swambhu Manu. And their history was given, and then there was a description of the universe, that there are 7 dvipas, and each dvipa has got varsas. Jambu dvipa has 9 varsas, and other 6 dvipas have 7 varsas each. And then there are oceans around them, we read that. And then there are, every varsa has got at least 7 mountains and 7 rivers. So, Nadi, Adi, Anavaspati and the various trees etc. were described. So, Dharamandal Sansthanam Bhagalakshana Manata Jyotisham Vivranam Cha Yathedam Asvijad Vibhu. So, this was the description of the Bhurloka, then there was description of Bhuvarloka and Swarloka and the luminaries, sun planet, moon planet, Brihaspati, Dhruva, pole star. All these were described, their sizes and how they are situated. So this is all part of astronomy. And how Lord had created this. Adnaya Mahabhaga Yatheva Narkanara Nano Ugra Yatnaya Tamme Vyakyatum Bhagati. And he says that this I have heard, but now I want to know what is the solution for the suffering in hell. How can a person how can one avoid this? Adnaya Mahabhaga Yatheva Narkatnara Nano Ugra Yatnaya. Tanme Vyakyatamasi. How can one become free from this? I want to know this. So out of compassion he is asking. So this is the question which is asked by Sukadeva Goswami and then, Parikshit Maharaj, and then Sukadeva Goswami starts answering him. So we will read the commentary by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Chandraya Namah. I give my obeisances to Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Pranamya Sri Gurum Bhuyah Sri Krishnam Karunarnavam Lokanatham Jagatchakshu Sri Gurum Tam Upashraye. So he says that after giving pranams, obeisances to my Guru and to Lord Krishna, who is the ocean of mercy, and then to Lokanath, because he came in the lineage of Lokanath, and Jagat Chakshu Sri Gurum Tam Upashraya. I take shelter of my Guru, who is the eye of the world. So this is all Mangalacharan he is doing, beginning of this canto. Goparama Jana Prana Prayasha iti Prabhushnaye Tadiya Priya Dasyaya Mamadiyam Ahandale. So he says that I offer myself and whatever belongs to me to the Lord to attain His devotion, His servitorship, who is the Supreme Master and who is the very life and soul of the gopis. Gopa Rama Jana Prana Prayas. Ati Prabhushna. Now he gives a little bit of summary, a few verses what happened. Swamaryada sthitanam yad bhupatala divokasham palanam sthana shabdoktam panchametal udiritam. There are 10 topics described in Bhagavatam. Atra sargo visargasya sthanam poshanam udhaya. So Manvantari Shamukatha Nirodha Ashraya. One of them is sthana. Sthana means to maintain. So he says that those people who are following their maryada, their respective moral codes, principles of dharma, whether they are on earth or they are in the lower planetary systems or they are in heaven. Then Lord gives protection to them, and this protection is called sthan. This is the meaning of the word sthan. So atra sarva visargasya sthanam. This is the third. Because before that sarga and visarga is described. So he says that this sthana was described in the 5th canto. Because we read all these various stories. And bhaktanam maryada ullanghinam api palanam yad bhavet tattu vidvadbhi poshanam parikirtitam. And then there is another maintenance that is called poshanam. So atra sargo visargasya sthanam and poshanam. So what is the difference between poshan? Poshan means nourishment. And sthan is also maintenance. So this portion is used for devotees. That Lord nourishes His devotees. Others are just maintained. They follow their principles. He says even if they are transgressing the law of dharma, but they are devotees. So there can be devotees by following the principle of dharma and also devotees, and there are devotees who may not follow the principle of dharma. So they are also protected by the Lord. Samoham sarvabhutesu name dveshosti na priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite tesu chapti. Krishna says, I am equal to everybody. Nobody is my enemy, nobody is my friend, but those who are my devotees, those who love me, then I take care of them specially. So he is biased towards his devotees. Towards others he is neutral. Many times people ask this question, why there is so much suffering in the world if there is God? If God is there and God is compassionate, why people suffer? No, God has nothing to do with your suffering. You do wrong action, you get a result for that. You go on highway, you overspeed, or don't stop at the red light, you get a ticket. Then don't blame the state government for that. You are not following the law, you get punished for that. So that is not because state government is cruel. And then if you really go on speeding, they may revoke your license. And then you have to suffer because you cannot commute. So then you say, well, this state government is very cruel. It's not taking care of me. So that is just a result of your own karma. State government has nothing to do with it. This makes a law. And as you know that in the judgment they put a black cloth. This lady is standing in that balance. That is the symbol of judgment, right? So which means she is blind. You do good, you get good result. You don't do good, you get punished for that. So this black strip or cloth on the eyes means neutral, not biased. I am not saying to you. My heart does not melt if you do wrong and you have to be hanged or punished or sent to jail. It doesn't disturb me. So that is how God is towards the material world. He is not biased, he is just having the balance in his hand. And whatever you do, he measures accordingly and gives you the result of your karma. Simple. So don't blame him for that. So all the problems which exist in the material world, they are created by us, human beings, not by God. And don't expect God to fix it. He fixes by punishing. And that's how he fixes you. But if you become a devotee, then he throws away this balance and removes the cloth from his eyes. And then he takes care of you no matter what you do. So that's what is said. That bhaktanam dharma maryada ulanghinam api palanam. That devotees, even if they are not following dharma, he protects them. So this is called poshan. Papino ajamilasya api nama bhasena bhaktata gurudroho vishakrasya proktadhikrit bhaktata. So here first example is given is of Ajamila, who was a very sinful person. But he chanted the name of his son, who happened to be Narayana. The name happened to be Narayana. So this was not even bhakti, but it looked like as if he's chanting the name. So just by that, he was protected by God. Vishnu Dutas came, as we will read the story, and they threw away the Yamdutas. Yamdutas means policemen who were taking him to put him in the prison. So Vishnu Dutas came and told the Yamdutas that you now take leave. Don't touch this man. Because he has recited the name Narayana. That is enough. So they said, but he has done a lot of sinful activities. He says his sins are all washed. It's like you take bath in the Ganga river, all your sins are finished. And if you don't do them again, you are clean. So this is one story which we will read in great detail. And then Guru Droha api Shakrasya Prokta Adhikrita Bhaktata. There is a description of Indra that he insulted his gurus, Sukracharya. And yet he was protected only because of being a devotee. You are not sent to hell. Usually you insult your guru, you are finished. Your whole spiritual life is gone. It's the most dangerous thing you can do in your life is to insult your guru. So of course this Sukracharya is not a spiritual guru, he's like a guru for the poor Mimamsa. So that's why Indra was still got some protection. Tayoscha poshnat chitraketvadinam cha kim puna adhyayana ekvinstya bhaktvatsalyam. And if these two people were protected by Lord, then what to speak of Chitraketu? There is another story we will read. Chitraketu was a king, then he became a devotee, and he got a very beautiful jumbo jet. And he was flying in his plane, and he saw Lord Shiva sitting with Parvati and the sages. So he mocked Lord Shiva, which is very offensive. Lord Shiva is also like offending Guru is offense. Offending Lord Shiva is also a big problem. So he did that, but still he was protected. And then he became a Vritra, so he became a demon, but his devotion was not lost. So he says that in the 6th canto there are 21 chapters. And these 21 chapters will describe the affection of the Lord towards his devotees. How Lord takes care of his devotees. This is the amazing thing described in this chapter, this canto. And tatra tu tribhir adhyayi katha ajamil sanshaya Vishwarupa Ashraya Shadbhir Vritrakhyanam Athastagi. So, in the 3 chapters, there is the story of Ajamila described. And then in the 6th chapters, there is story of Vritrasura, Vishwarupa. And then in the 2 chapters, Marudakyanam Adhyaya Dvayena Parikirtita, 2 chapters, there is a story of the Marutas. These 49 types of Maruta, the heirs, they were born from Diti. And Yatra Anuvrittir Indrena Dityam Punshanvrate, and how Indra, he was trying to serve Diti, who did the Punshavana vow to get sons. So this is the story of the gist of the 21 chapters. So now the first chapter will begin. So Tatriha Prathame Adhyaye Vishnu Dutai Rajamile Mochyamane Tadiya Ghanu Uchyante Kinkare. In the first chapter there is a story of Ajamila, who was protected by Vishnu Dutas from the Yamadutas, or servants of Yamaraj, the Lord of Death. And then Yama servants, they described how sinful Ajamila is. So why should he be protected? So this is what we will read in this chapter. Now commentary on the verses. Naranam Narakapata Yatana Shravnena Dayard Hridaya Tandirasthar Nistaropayasya Prashtavyasya Pratyuttarvachana Yogyatayam Utsaham Upadayitum Purvoktanuvadena Updishta Artha Avdharana Yogyatam Swasya Vyanjati Nivrittiti. So after King Parikshit, he heard about the description of the hells, his heart melted out of compassion. And therefore he thought that he must ask a solution for this, so that people do not have to go to hell. And for that he wanted to encourage Sukadeva Goswami, because he may not be willing to answer. So to give encourage to him and to show to him that, look, I am listening to you, what you are saying, and I have understood. He gives the gist of the previous chapters. So teacher becomes inspired when he sees that the student is learning and is enthusiastic. So then he is also happy to teach more. So in this way he is saying that I have heard and I have digested it, and I remember, not that I forgot what was said in this chapter in Canto. So therefore he speaks these first 5 verses only, which are just like a gist of what he has heard. So yatha yathavat. And at Adav means beginning. He said that in the beginning he spoke of the Nivritti Marga, the path of renunciation. So that Adav Dvitiya Skandha, that refers to the 2nd canto. Vaishvanaram Yati Ityadina Tatha Tritiye Chaye Swadharman Niduhyanti Ityadina. So he says that this refers to 2nd canto and the 3rd canto, and he quotes these 2 verses, that how one goes to Vaishvanar and those who do not milk their dharma, means not use the dharma for making money. So yat yena margena kram yogena prapto ya brahma tena. So they go to Brahma by following this path of gradual movement, kram yoga, and then they become liberated. So there is a gradual liberation and there is a immediate liberation. Immediate liberation is that after death you don't take birth. Gradual is that after birth you go to the higher planets and you keep on moving up to the heaven and the various divisions. You go to Bhuvar Loka and then Swar Loka and then Mahar Loka and then Tapa Loka, Jana Loka, and then Brahma Loka. And then when Brahma dies, then you become liberated. So you have to wait a long time. So that is gradual. So this is described here. Brahmana sahate sarve samprapte prati sanchare parashyante kritatmane pravishanti parampadam. That these people who have reached Brahmaloka, so they, along with Brahma, at the end of his life, which is called Para, then all these pious people, they enter into Vaikuntha, Parampadam. Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. Pravritti Lakshnasya Katitas Tritiya Eva. And Pravritti Marg is also described in the third canto. Yet iha asakta manasa, those who are attached here in the material world, ityadina. Traigunyam svargadi sukham tadeva vishyam praptam yasya nalina prakriti yasya tasya sansarana. So these people, Traigunya Vishya, they are interested in enjoying the fruits of three gunas. And therefore, after death, their subtle body is not dissolved, because they still need it. So they are born again. That is Pravritti Marg. Yato yasmin dvipadin yatha asrijat tatha vyakhyātam iti anvaya. And then in the fifth canto there was description of all the islands. Bhagato lakshanato manatasya dharamandalasya jyotisham suryadinam idam santhanam yatha asrijat tatha vyakhyātam. So he says, you have described how the Lord, He created the various divisions and also the characteristic of that place. What are the type of people living in Bharatvarsha, what are the type of people living in other Varsha, Uttar Purva Varsha, Ramnakdweep, and the size, and then also the description of the luminaries in the heaven, sun, etc., and their structure, and various types of people who are also living there. So they were all described by you. And now and then you describe the hells. Nana ugra yatna yeshu tan narkan yatha na iyat na gachet tat lokanam ishtanishta sadhane dve tatha gyate tatha nishta parihar sadhanam api gyatavayam api bhava. So he says that you have also described various hellish places. So now I want to know that process by which people do not have to suffer in the hell. So, nist parihar sadhanam api gyatavayam api bhava. So this is the question which he has raised, and then he starts answering Sukadeva Goswami. Sri Shuka Vacha, he said, न चेदैह उपचतिं यथाहं सकृतस्य कुर्यान् मुनियुक्तपाणिभिः ध्रुवं स वै प्रेत्य नरकानुपैति ये कीर्तिता मे भवतास्ति मयातना. So he says that a human being does sinful activity by mind, by speech and by body. So these are the three ways person performs sin. Physically you can hit somebody or kill someone. By speech also you abuse, disturbance. And by mind you think bad about someone. So he says, if one does not do atonement for these things in this very life before dying, then after death he has to go to hell and suffer. So he says, that's what I have described you, bhavata stigma yatna, and there one has to suffer very severe pain. Like there are big cauldrons with boiling oil. They catch people and throw it inside and fry it like a samosa. So all these types of sufferings, dhruvam savai pretya narakanupeti, after death, goes there and suffers. So he says that if one does not do this atonement, then this is sure to come. Tatra svashisyasya parikshitah svamate vitpattim parikshamanah karminam mate narke pratikaramah na chaiti bhavya. So Sukadeva Goswami is testing his student. So there are two ways. One is the path of dharma, as I said, and in that there are prescribed duties, there are forbidden activities, and there is also praschit karma. So there is nitya karma, there is namitik karma, there is nisiddha karma, and there is praschit karma. So praschit is atonement, that if you do something by mistake, you can perform an atonement, then you don't have to suffer for it. So he is giving that as a solution to see if Sukadeva, this Parikshit, will agree to it. Because this is not ultimate solution for him. So sometimes teacher also tests the student. Iheva janmana मनोवाक्कायर व्यस्तैर समस्तैर वा कृतस्य अंहसः अपचिति प्रायश्चित्तम् इहैव जन्मनि न कुर्यात् चेत् तदा तिग्मदानं. So whether one performs sin by mind or by body or by speech or by two of them or all three of them, one must perform atonement. Otherwise an atonement has to be done in this life only. Otherwise one has to suffer. Tasmat puraiv ashuyha papa niskritau yateta mrityoravipadyatatmana doshasya drishtva guru laghavam yatha vishak chikitse tarujam nidanvit. He says, therefore, before one dies, one should engage in the praschitta, atonement, And atonement should be done according to the sin committed. If the sin is heavy, then there is heavy atonement. If the sin is light, then there is light atonement. And just like a doctor, when he sees a patient, then according to the disease, if the disease is very heavy, then strong medicine is to be given. And if the disease is not so heavy, then light medicine or some home remedy is given. So like that, he has to do atonement for his sins. Yasmadevam tasmad mrityo puraiva tatrapi ashu anyatha. So before the death comes, and it should be done immediately, atiyu chirkaletu digunam vratam iti dagni. If you know that you have committed mistake, some sinful activity, you come to know about it, then you should not delay for the atonement. If you delay for the atonement, you have to do it twice. Just like if you have some disease, don't neglect it. If you neglect it, it will increase, you have to take double the medicine, or triple, or heavier dose. So disease and death, if you have death, then they should not be neglected. And third is sin. अविपद्यताम आत्मना इति यावत् जरा रोगादि भीर व्रतादि असामर्थ्यम न स्यात्. So also one has to see that when you become old or you fall sick, you will not be able to do atonement, because atonement also needs some strength in the body, like you have to fast. So better do it before that. अत्र व्यवस्थापको विद्वान धर्मशास्त्र तात्रज्ञ विज्ञो मृग्य इति. So that for that one has to approach a person who knows this, who is expert, because one may not know oneself what atonement has to be done. So just like when one falls sick, one goes to a doctor to know what kind of medicine is to be taken, how much medicine has to be taken. So like that, if one has performed some sinful activity, then one approaches an expert in Dharma Shastra and finds a solution for that. So we'll stop here. Any question?
Yeah. Where does the line start for atonement? No. Are there people that are educated and or that know the Dharma Shastra in this day and age that can tell you that?
Yes, some people are there.
Yeah. I assume they're here in India, probably, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
And in the West also they have, you go to the church, then they have the confession. It is also a type of atonement.
Oh, it is, okay.
I had one question. It was interesting, I've never heard of this before. We were saying about when the individual gets entangled in the three gunas. Does this have the effect that when a person dies, the subtle bodies are not dispersed?
No.
So this enables that one person is, attached and entangled in the three gunas, that also the subtle bodies, they stay intact, and this causes their being to reincarnate.
Yeah.
Oh.
And your karma is carried. But the imprints are there.
So means that if somebody knows the system to cancel the effect of the sin, they just do whatever they want because they know the way how to modify.
Yeah. But that does not make you free from karma. Anyway, just wait, he will give another solution. This is not the ultimate solution. Okay, so I'll stop here. So it worked for a long time, but then again, I think like it works for half an hour, and then made it something like